Well, hello. Back to the good old days when we were shut down and doing videos online and things of that nature. So we're back. We had a couple cases of positive tests for COVID this week. I was one of them. Sick earlier in the week, but feeling much better now. Just some lingering cough and a few things like that. Don't taste food very well yet, but doing fine. And so here we are. We thought since another case I know of was also from church, so maybe there was a source at church, we thought it prudent to take a week's break from that to allow things to pass through. And so I expect this to only last a week, but we will keep you informed as things progress. So I'm comfortable in my recliner, got my feet propped up here. I hope you're comfortable as well as you've come into the presence of God. It's a little bit of a dangerous thing to come before God a little too comfortable, but I think it's okay in this case to sit back and enjoy being in the presence of the Lord as we gather together in this forum to worship Him and to study and learn and grow. I don't know how long my voice is going to hold out, so I kind of expect this to be relatively short. That and the fact that being sick most of the week, at least the latter half of the week, didn't get a whole lot of reading and study time in, so it's even more of an overview. I think it's still going to be good and helpful, but just not as much background as you might normally expect. So, but you never know. Sometimes the least prepared talk the longest, so hopefully I don't fall into that category today. So our reading for last week that we're speaking on today is from the book of Philippians and the book of Colossians. 2 books, a little longer, 8 chapters this time. One of the interesting things that I noticed as I was reading through our reading this week is how there are some major similarities going on between many of the letters Paul has written. And you might expect that, same author, same ideas, but there's one idea in particular that takes several different forms that really jumped out at me as I was reading Philippians and then Colossians, and then thinking back, having just done Galatians, and not too long ago we were in Corinthians. They all had a great commonality to them in terms of their theme. A similar emphasis. And that emphasis, shockingly, is Jesus. It's Jesus. In spite of a wide variety of topics and situations all those churches are in, from great praise to Philippian church to the Corinthian church that was a mess and had just a myriad of problems that Paul had to address individually, to Ephesians, as we talked last week, a circular letter, all of them had the same emphasis, and that is Jesus. Especially the centrality of Jesus. In Galatians, it was the gospel of Christ. I can't believe you're so quickly abandoning the gospel of Christ. And he says in 2:20 of Galatians, let me get there quickly. In 2:20 he says, where's 20? Little bitty numbers. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life that I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself up for me. That really encapsulates his message to the Galatians. I live for Christ, Christ lives in me, and he's the center of my life. In Ephesians last week, we talked about Jesus is our all in all. He's to fill everything completely in our life. What am I having for breakfast? Now, I don't think Jesus is going to send a message from the sky saying, you need to eat Cheerios because they're good for your heart. Or you need to eat eggs because there's lots of protein. No, but the body is a gift from God. The body is given to us to serve Christ. So even in terms of our diet, are we making decisions that honor Christ? Is he filling our all in all? Maybe that seems like an extreme thing, but I don't think it is. Because all in all is not most in most. It's not some of some. It's all in all. May Jesus fill up all our life in all areas of our life, including what do we have for breakfast? Challenging perhaps, huh? Well, in our reading today, or this past week, we're in Philippians. And in Philippians, what he says in that regard of Jesus being central, he says in 1:21, for to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. To live is Christ. Now that's suggesting that Jesus is to be central. Excuse me while I answer the front door.